Welcome to our show, First Nations Celebrating the Return of Their Lands, Part 10 of a multi-part series. For Native Americans, land has always been more than just property. The return of ancestral land transcends boundaries, embodying cultural renewal and providing the assertion of sovereignty. In this episode, we celebrate the Yurok, Blackfeet, Coquille, and Kalispel peoples as they reclaim their ancestral homelands. The Yurok are Algic-speaking Native Americans living in northwestern California, primarily along the Klamath River and the Pacific coast. Known as Ol, meaning Indian people, the Yurok is California's largest First Nation with over 6,400 members. They are master craftspeople, renowned for intricate basket weaving and redwood canoe construction. The Yurok see the Klamath River as a living spirit representing the well-being of their people. They revere the towering redwoods as sacred guardians watching over their home. Their spiritual life is rooted in world renewal rites like the jump dance, maintaining harmony between Earth and the cosmos. The Yurok people lost approximately 90% of their ancestral lands to European settlers during the mid-1800s California gold rush. For many decades, the Yurok have tirelessly pursued rights to their ancestral lands for ecological and cultural restoration. In 2024, the Yurok rejoiced, becoming the first indigenous nation to co-manage land with the National Park Service. They signed an agreement to help run the Oro property within Redwood National and State Parks. This partnership strengthened their case of reclaiming land taken during the gold rush. After 2 decades of partnership with conservation groups and state agencies, the Yurok First Nation achieved a historic victory in June 2025, California's largest land reclamation deal. With support from grants, donations, carbon credits, and federal aid, they reclaimed 47,097 acres of ancestral territory along the sacred Blue Creek watershed in the lower Klamath Basin. This milestone was significant to the Yurok people, whose ancestral territory, once spanning over 1.49 million acres, was stripped away through colonization, the Dawes Act, and decades of systemic dispossession. By 1986, they only held 5,000 acres, a mere 1% of their original homeland. It marks a vital step in addressing historical injustices and reestablishing their sacred role as stewards of the land. This land is back home with us now, and we'll continue that work that we have done as Yurok people to protect the land, protect the streams, exclaimed the Honorable Joseph L. James, Chairman of the Yurok First Nation. For over 10,000 years, the Blackfeet, also known as Nitsi Tepiksi, meaning real people, have inhabited the Rocky Mountain Front region in northwest Montana and southern Alberta, Canada. Their ancestral territory stretched across the northern Great Plains, encompassing rivers, open prairies, and the eastern slopes of the Rockies. Daily life of the Blackfeet people was organized around mobility and kinship networks. Families lived in teepees, women crafted clothing and tools, and community bonds were reinforced through ceremony and oral tradition. Blackfeet's spirituality integrated celestial bodies, plants, animal people, and weather into a unified worldview. Sacred ceremonial bundles, such as the Sundance bonnet, carried immense power and responsibility. The Okan, or Sundance, remains a central ceremony of renewal, while modern powwows, including North American Indian Days, foster community pride and cultural continuity. The Blackfeet First Nation lost most of its historical homeland due to European colonization and unjust policies. This injustice led them to start one of the most comprehensive indigenous land restoration movements in North America. Through conservation partnerships, legal victories, and the federal land buyback program funded by the Cobell Settlement, they have reclaimed over 500,000 acres of ancestral territory. In 2023, After 4 decades of perseverance, the Blackfeet First Nation secured the permanent cancellation of oil and gas leases within the 130,000-acre Badger II Medicine Cultural District. That same year, wild buffalo folk roamed freely once again across 36,000 acres beneath the revered Chief Mountain, a return to ancestral territory after 150 years of absence. The restored lands now safeguard traditional ceremonies and innovative education programs where students learn Blackfoot language alongside ecological science. Youth act as guardians of both the Buffalo people and the land, celebrating each new birth as a renewal of life. When reflecting on the release of wild buffalo individuals, Blackfeet Councilman, the Honorable Lauren Monroe Jr. commented that if they, our ancestors, were to understand that our language, our culture, our buffalo would come back one day, it was absolutely momentous as a Blackfeet to be on our land within our sovereignty. Since ancient times, the Coquille First Nation people have lived across the vast lands of southwestern Oregon. They practice the potlatch tradition, a culture of generous hospitality expressed through gift-giving and the welcoming of visitors. The Coquille First Nation upholds its own constitution and government, known for its deep history, commitment to self-sufficiency, and sustainable forest management. The nation prioritizes education, healthcare, housing, and elder services while advancing environmental stewardship and economic development. The Coquille have preserved vibrant artistry in woodworking, glass blowing, basketry, and regalia making. Their artisans gather traditional materials from ancestral lands. Their cultural calendar celebrates seasonal ceremonies, including the Solstice Nidash gatherings and Traditional Foods Day, which features ancestral cuisines like plant-based kamas and acorns. Today, the Coquille Canoe family, keepers and paddlers of the Cedar Canoe, continue navigating coastal waters. Decades of displacement began with forced removal in 1856 and federal termination of trust relations with the U.S. government in 1954. Yet the Coquille people never relinquished their sovereign rights. Following the restoration of federal recognition in 1989, the nation steadily expanded its land holdings from 0 to over 10,000 acres through a series of strategic acquisitions. In May 2015, the nation reclaimed 3,200 acres of ancestral homeland, known as Sequoia, in Curry County, Oregon, by purchasing forest land from EcoTrust Forest Management within Siskiyou National Forest boundaries. On January 8, 2018, His Excellency President Donald Trump, a laureate of the Shining World Peace Leader Award and Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion, signed the Western Oregon Tribal Fairness Act, granting the Coquille First Nation unprecedented control over its 5,400-acre Coquille forest in eastern Pewes County. Freed from restrictive federal guidelines, the nation could now exercise its own sustainable forestry practices. We are enormously gratified that Congress and President Trump have taken this important step. The Honorable Chairwoman Brenda Mead expressed upon the Act's passage. In 2025, after 13 years of legal challenge, the approval of the Medford Trust Land marked a historic victory that expanded the nation's capacity for economic development. This milestone set a powerful precedent for all Native nations reclaiming homelands, restoring ecosystems, and advancing self-determination while reshaping policies nationwide. The Kalispel First Nation resides across the Washington, Idaho, and Montana states along the Pacific Northwest. Known as the people of the Pend Oreille River, the Kalispel have cultivated a river-centered culture over the centuries. Their identity centers around cultural traditions and the mastery of the iconic sturgeon-nosed canoes, crafted from cedar and bark, designed for navigating dense bulrushes and turbulent waters. The Kalispel people believe all things in nature have spirits. Through Qualamut stories, they pass on sacred teachings, cultural law, and the knowledge of deep spiritual and ecological kinship between people, animal citizens, and the land. Their traditional seasonal practices include harvesting camas bulbs as first food. Language revitalization and cultural preservation programs today ensure these practices continue for future generations. Between the 1850s and early 1900s, the Kalispel endured devastating land loss through forced cessions, broken treaties, and settler dispossession. Their traditional territory once spanned several million acres, but was reduced to just 4,557 acres by a 1914 executive order. Yet their resolve to restore sovereignty never wavered. Since 1992, the Kalispel people have successfully acquired over 5,000 acres through purchases, grants, and gifts. Among their greatest achievements is the Indian Creek Community Forest, a 410-acre living landscape designed in collaboration with the United States Department of Agriculture, or USDA, and Bonneville Power Administration. It features native plant nurseries, ponds, and interpretive trails, supporting traditional practices and education. In December 2021, the Kalispel First Nation received a 75-acre parcel along the ecologically vital Pack River Delta, a key wildlife corridor that supports wildlife movement and ecosystem health. That same year, the nation acquired a 243-acre raceway property. 2 years later, in 2023, they secured the conversion of 188 acres into federal trust land. This conversion signifies a major sovereignty milestone, granting the nation full jurisdiction under its own laws. In 2024, the Kalispel Reservation in Northeast Washington received buffalo folk from the Nature Conservancy, expanding the herd from 180 to 300 and reaffirming the nation's cultural bond with the bison people, while strengthening ecological stewardship of their lands. The joyful triumphs of the Yurok, Blackfeet, Coquille, and Kalispel First Nations serve as a powerful inspiration for advancing the global land reclamation movement among Indigenous communities. By the grace of the Great Spirit, may Indigenous peoples continue to achieve success in restoring sovereignty and renewing their cultural vitality. Passionate viewers, thank you for being with us today on our show, First Nations Celebrating the Return of Their Lands, Part 10 of a multi-part series. Our human brothers and sisters await quickly and pray to the utmost reunited Trinity for our soul liberation.